You guys are amazing. I'll just put it that way. You guys are amazing. This whole thing didn't come to fruition through my thinking. It came through this crazy thing called the Dealer Advisory Council that started because, the truth, I was scared crazy to be here with you guys. What happened was I left a really good job, making really good money, for an idea that things that could stretch myself and grow in a wrong time, which became the right time. And what happened was, it was so funny, and I was telling Robert this at our DM meeting in Dallas a couple weeks ago. I actually talked about it. I didn't get to finish it the right way, and one of the other guys jumped in. It was kind of funny. But what happened was I left a really solid, good job where I'd been for 13 years and really loved the place to take a step out and work for Lennox. And I didn't know what I was getting into. And the very first day I walked into chaos that I've never even thought could possibly be happening. And you guys were putting up with that from one of the best companies in the world, if not the best company in the world. And it really was not a good explanation of what this company's about. So it's funny because I walked in and I walked around the building and I got super scared because when I took the job on, I took a large pay cut and I had 4 months to prove that we could make a heartbeat out of this district. And I'm like, well, why would anybody in the right mind say yes to that? So I walked through the building and I went in the warehouse and I was so scared. I called my wife and I said, listen, Tina, I think I made a mistake. And she pointed out, you took a pay cut, you have 4 months to prove it, now suck it up and go kick some butt. And it kind of, I really wanted her to give me a hug and say, come on home, we'll be okay. But she didn't. And, you know, so it's kind of interesting how our relationships between our spouses is so critical. So critical. And so I walked around the room and we got started. And as a competitor of Lennox, it was so easy to grab a Lennox dealer and bring them to your other brand. It was so easy to bring parts and supplies and move it away from the Lennox group. It was easy. My best sales team were your sales team. So I knew that. I knew we had to figure that out and fix that. But what I did not know was what you guys were going through, because I never asked you as a competitor. So we started traveling I started traveling with the TMs, and I remember early on having Jill Borson's husband Dale from Dale's Refrigeration say, "Well, why should I be a Lennox dealer? Are Lennox guys more profitable?" And I just sat there and I said, "Wow, that's a great question." So I went on this mission of asking if Lennox dealers are more profitable. And when I found out was that CRI score over there, that scoreboard over there. Anybody in their right mind would not put all their dealer scores for everybody to see. That is creating a mutiny. I did it because I care. I did it because I'm trying to tell you guys a message. You already decided you're going to be a Lennox dealer. But the tools that report says over there is maybe we're not using the tools effectively or enough to drive as much profit back to your business as possible to answer Dale's answer his question. That is a stepping stone for our sales team to go out and make sure we help you understand why it's important for you to engage in those tools, in those programs, and make your business stronger. Because what most people think is, well, Dave, you're just trying to do that because you want us to buy all your stuff. Well, yeah. Well, the other thing is we're in sales. And if we're going to sell something good, it better be good. If we're going to lead in a certain direction, we have to make sure our dealers are winning at the same time, or much better, actually, because that's the only way we're going to grow forward and go forward and continue to become a better district. We only get better because you are better. And what's really funny about this whole thing is we only started to become better as a district because you are much better. You guys flipped me on top of my head and showed me things I never saw before. What's really weird, I remember going out to Mesra Heating and Cooling, who, if you look at their score over there, it's not where it should be. But Mike Byers made me drive across the state to Prairie du Chien for some award we're going to give somebody for 75 years, I think it was. And I'm like, well, why do I have to come with? And he said, just come with, you have to see this. And I'm like, okay. So we got there, and his family members had flown in from all over the country to get this award, to see him their dad get an award, their brother get an award, their uncle get an award. It was incredible. The newspaper was there. Do you realize this guy got this award for being a Lennox dealer, and he could not stop the tears? His family could not stop their tears. And I thought, this is really strange. I've been a dealer for a different brand. I've sold other brands. I worked for other distributors. I've seen other types of businesses before. I've never seen you before. I've never seen the passion, the potential, the profitability. I've never seen a group of people that had purpose like you. I learned so much that day. It actually changed my thinking from a manager to trying to strive to become better to help you guys see things that maybe you didn't see. And the only way I could do that was by learning and starting over. The sales team, I wish I could tell you I developed them. They kind of found us. Gary Knab, I remember one good thing about coming to Lennox. Dottie Passetti. She was the competitor, and she was so darn good. It's the only person we couldn't steal business from. Isn't that amazing? She has a way of pushing with a smile because she knows it's in your best interest. She has a way of, absolutely, it's almost like a smack in the head and then a hug. I saw it for the first time. I got in a car, I turned on the car key, and I just sat there, and she's like, what? And I looked at her and went, really? How'd you do that? Because if a guy did that, we'd just get punched in the face. But you know what? I knew for sure that if we had somebody like a Dottie Passetti, we could build a team around that lady. You can build a team around key people in your company. And what happens is when you put the structure behind key people like that, people will follow. People will come. I remember at the DM meeting, Tom Tao did a presentation, and I really loved watching it. And he did the same brand presentation, but he did it for the district managers to remind them what our brand is really about. Because I didn't wear the Lennox brand. I remember when I went to my last employer, I was given a gift to my employees, and it was a pair of Carrier underwear. It's for sure. Because I was blue. And I never thought there was any other thing but blue. And I never thought there was anything else moving forward. So when I came here, I just thought it was another brand. But remember Tom Tao playing his video about the Field of Dreams. And I just sat there and thought, and I listened to the sound of that part of the movie. And Earl Jones, what's his name? James Earl Jones, and he says, Ray, they will come, Ray. I remember thinking about that, and it almost sounds kind of corny. And you kind of start out the scene a little corny. But then you realize it's real. You guys are amazing, amazing people. And I call it exceptional people. Businesses, word I could correct me up. Businesses are failing all over the place right now. People are losing their homes. People are losing their families. People are losing everything they spent their career. 2, 3, 4 generations and more are losing everything they have right now. We've seen more businesses in the last 3 years leave our industry in this state than any other time in the history of business. We just went through 2008 and 2009 and the worst time of our lifetime economically. And you're here. There is dealers that aren't here. Half of our dealers are not here. I don't know how to help them. Our team does not know how to help them. Our tools do not know how to help them. This doggone thing called cap advertising, you can call it all kinds of different things. You can say, what I challenge you to is invest in it and learn how to use it as a tool to create profitability for yourself. Why would these guys be pushing that so hard? They know something. All these other dealers that aren't here, you guys, are still Lennox dealers. We still love them where they're at. But I have a feeling that you guys in this room right here will grow this year a lot. Not only in sales, but you're going to grow in profitability, in leadership, in familiarity with your people. Your people are going to follow people that they know are winners in their best interest. How many times have you seen leaders out there that really don't care, and you know it? They just don't care. Not this group. This group has a different style, has a different thought, has a different future. You guys are going to change the way heating and air conditioning is done in this country. One house at a time. One employee at a time. Oh man, I'm so happy I'm here. I'm so glad I took that step out. And I'm so glad that Tina did not say, it's okay, Dave. Why don't you come on home and I'll get the bottle ready and you can just have a little nipple of milk. I'm so glad that she said, you know what? Be a big boy. Take your lumps. Learn, grow, and surround yourself with people like right here. Because this is really nothing about our support team, us. It's about you. When I first started, I remember seeing districts become districts of the year. And I have a philosophy about districts of the year. My philosophy is we are the district of the year, even the years we don't make it. And we have made it once. Very close. We were a district of the region, an extra of the whole company. I believe we'll make district of the year when we become the best distributor manufacturer for you because you will take us to the district of the year. And our concern is you. I don't know how fortunate, and I'm going to use the word blessed, anybody can be to have a Gary Knab follow you into a train wreck. I remember sitting down with Gary Knab and Jenny and saying, all right, listen. If you come here, I'm asking you not to buy anything, pay off all your debt, because I don't know how long we can hold this together. How many people would follow you through that? But he did, and Jenny did. I remember Jenny saying, you can't tell me how to spend our money. You can't tell me how to do this or do that. And I said, you're right, and I don't have to hire you. If we don't love our people that much, that we care about them that much, what are we doing this for? What are we doing this for? I know you guys do because you guys have suffered and you guys have gotten through the worst of times with flying colors. And I know right now some of you may be thinking, well, it's not exactly like it should be. You know, I remember talking to a couple dealers recently said, well, you know, I can't stay for the whole meeting because we're not where we should be, and times are a little bit tough. We're very busy. We got to make as much profit as we can. But you guys, you are here and you are making a difference. We were so lucky to listen to a family come in and share what it felt like to have a ripple effect of Heat Up Wisconsin. What in the world are you thinking? Donating furnaces with a continued community effort of the same day, on the same day every single year, so that we can make an impact that's going to ripple across this country, across all of North America? I don't see Heat Up Wisconsin. Robert's going to kill me right now. I see Heat Up North America. And you guys are part of that. Man, I don't know how somebody's so blessed. I want to get off the stage here. We're going to have some fun. We're going to bring up Dave Lennox back up here, and he's going to kick off at night. But I want to share one last story with you guys. Those of you that know me really well, I love history. I love battle history. I love sharing stuff that extraordinary people made happen. Because extraordinary people, remember, I'm going to tell you something, and I feel really strongly about this. Extraordinary people are not born that way. You might go back to early England and stuff like that, and you were born with blood, and you became the ruler, and they did all kinds of crazy things. Read some history books. I'm talking about extraordinary people that are normal people that say, I'm going to stand for something that means something, and I'm going to change the future because of one person making a stand. And that's what I'm talking about, extraordinary people. And that's what's happening with you guys right now, before our very eyes. If something ever happens, if I get hit by a car, some train or something, like who knows what, you guys have made my life so much fuller, so much better. And I'm so proud to serve you guys. Back in December 7th, 1941, Japan decided it was important to bomb Pearl Harbor. Does anybody know why? They were running across the South Seas Islands, South Pacific Islands, and they were taking island by island and torturing and starving and all kinds of horrible things at all those islands they went along. And what they thought of was America just went off to fight Germany. And if they're willing to do that, then maybe if they're going to come over here and fight us. So maybe what we should do is send our ships and our planes, and we're going to go send them a little message. We lost lots of relatives and family members in that start of that Pacific War. It's interesting things, interesting facts that are out there, and I'm asking you to read these things. Pearl Harbor was bombed. Roosevelt called Admiral Nimitz on the phone, who was at a reception party in D.C., Washington, D.C. And he pulled him out. And he said, listen, the Japanese just bombed us in Pearl Harbor. Now, the president was really upset because we've already put all of our expenses and troops in one side of the world, right? And now the other side's attacking us. And we're not that big of a country compared to a lot. Bigger than most, but not the biggest. So he said, Nimitz, I want you to go to Hawaii, and I want you to be the admiral of the Pacific Fleet. I want you to get out there and assess it and figure out what we're going to do, build a plan. So Nimitz said, sure. He'd take on responsibility. It took him till Christmas Eve day to get there because of all the preparation that needed to be done to do the things correctly, all the things that are in alignment. When you guys look at your businesses, you make decisions based on alignment of a purpose of a goal. So he gets out there, he lands, they immediately take him to the harbor, they put him on a ski skiff, it's a skiff, it's a small boat with one engine and a first mate running it. And he's standing on this boat, and they're taking him through the harbor. Now, you got to realize, almost a month later, the harbor is still on fire. Bodies are still floating to the surface, and they're still finding people. And it's amazing destruction. One of the biggest destructions our country's ever seen. Certainly at that time. So they land the boat, they dock it up, and the first mate said, Admiral, we're doomed, aren't we? I mean, we're at war with Germany. Japanese are bombing us. Who knows what's going to happen next? We are doomed, aren't we? And Admiral Nimitz said the most extraordinary thing. He said, son, what I see is the Japanese have made 3 critical mistakes. Number 1, they bombed us Sunday morning. 3,800 people are missing, they're dead. Now, if they would have bombed us that evening, we would have lost 38,000 men. But you see, they were all ashore and leave. And he said second was, in the harbor, if you look at pictures of Pearl Harbor, there's an island in the middle, and they line the ships around that island. And then the port's over here, but over here is where the dry docks are. Dry docks are how they repair ships. They can raise them, no matter how big they are, they can raise them, weld them, rebuild them, piece them together, and put them back out. And he said, you know what? The second mistake was they never bombed our dry docks. But they did bomb all of our ships sitting nice and pretty and easy to pray, right? They bombed the crud out of them. And then he goes, you see the thing with that is if they would have bombed our dry docks, we would have had to float as many of our ships we could, pull them all the way to the mainland to repair them. It would have taken us months, if not a year. He says, now we just float them and pull them to the dry docks. And again, you can see the pictures. Mistake number 3. He said, as the ships would drop the planes would drop their bombs and circle back around to the ship to reload, every single one of them flew over an ammunition dump. All the fuel needed to run our ships. One bomb would have taken out all of our fuel. And believe it or not, floating our ships and dragging them back to the United States to rebuild them and bring them back out, it would have taken longer to get the fuel there and enough fuel for us to be able to float ships out to the Pacific Islands. He says, oh no, son. They may have came to attack us, but they made 3 massive mistakes. We're going to put our ships together, we're going to put our troops together, and we're going to go kick some butt. And that's what they did. And I look at our country right now, and I kind of look at things and I say, what are we really doing? Are we really looking at the right stuff? We have 2 sides fighting. It's all kinds of craziness going on. And I'm not going to talk about politics at all. I'm going to talk about Americans. I'm going to talk about American people. I'm not going to talk about something that you probably have never heard before, or maybe you have. There's something in America called un-American. We're the only country that have un-Americans living in America. We have choices to make, and we need to make them. I'm not worried about us in this room. I'm worried about our grandkids, our kids and our grandkids. I'm worried about them. We have to be extraordinary people, every single one of us. Every single one of us need to move forward, make decisions, and guide our families and our country one person at a time, one ripple effect at a time. I see 3 things that we need to make sure that we're doing with our family. We need to have passion. We can't worry about what people are saying or thinking. We need to have passion. We are Americans. We need to know what our potential is. We need to know what our profitability is. And when you put all 3 of those things that I'm talking about together, you will find your purpose. And our purpose is an American country. God bless you guys. Thanks for coming.